starts with something we kind of glossed over. We only spoke about it for a couple of minutes last week. But it is very relevant in terms of Julian BÖRNER. Looks like there's something a little bit more to this now. I spoke last week about Bild, which is apparently, someone said take it with a pinch of salt, it's like the sun in Germany. But like, it does seem to be gaining traction now with our local journos sort of jumping on it and things. There's a Hanover 96 link, and it looks like actually BÖRNER might be off now. Obviously, I said that we'd heard from people that he did originally want to stay after relegation and things like that. But it could be a case of we might not be able to afford him now, and it might be a genuinely mutual sort of termination of contract is in the best interest of the club, and I think that's when we would see him go. What do you think?
Yeah, if the finances are bad as we keep thinking they are, in a sense, people are going, yeah, we're not gonna get any money for him. But if he's on a lot of money wages wise, it might be the only way we can actually go, you know what? You've been here, you've done well for us, you tried your best, it didn't work out. If you need to go, you go. And it's also not the case of where his family didn't come over. His family is still in Germany. Every international break, he will go back to go see family.
Is that confirmed now? Because you said this last week and I wasn't sure.
No, yeah, family hasn't been over. So I kind of get that a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're in a cost-cutting situation at Wednesday now. So if it means some players have to mutually accept and go, and we lose money on them, we have to do that. Because we now know roughly what the situation is behind the scenes. Not everything, because we still haven't had any information come out, which is really annoying. But good luck to him. I know there was a love-hate relationship with some fans with him. Some people loved him, some people hated him, and I think that's just what you get for being a Wednesday player, really.
I don't think there was much hate there. I think I've seen some of it recently, as you always do on Twitter, but like, he might have not had the best season this season, but we've got to remember that we used the Harry Maguire song for Julian BÖRNER and referenced his manhood size in the song and things like that. Julian BÖRNER was I've done it again, was the fans' favourite for a little while, because you got to remember when he signed for us, he came off the back of...
Well, we were in an embargo when we signed him.
Yep, but he also came off the back of Michael Hector, who was a fan favourite, who came on loan and obviously couldn't come back to us. And the ideal thing for that season is, can we get somebody of Michael Hector's quality in?
Yeah.
And in that first season, BÖRNER was that.
Yeah, he was.
You know, he did become that, and it was like he was taking Hector's role, and we didn't miss Hector as much because of it. In fact, I know a load of people were saying, can you imagine if we had BÖRNER and Hector in the same side?
That would have been good.
It would have been excellent for us.
You know what I'm going to miss when he goes, though? Is when they do like the behind-scene training, you just see him with a big smile joking around.
I think what I'm concerned about is character losing.
We've lost some good characters in that dressing room as well.
I always look back to Carlos saying, like, they let Semedo and the likes go too early because things started to fall apart behind the scenes in that promotion run. And this is a very different situation. We actually financially probably have to get rid of players. Let's look at it realistically. Yeah. But BÖRNER does seem like a very, very solid professional. And I do think he'd have been great for League One.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
what are our battling centre-back?
What centre-back options have we got now? Because Iragidi, there's been no updates, but it looks like he could still be off.
Hutch, Iorfa, Dunkley, the young lad, Brennan, is it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I mean, Palmer's played on the side of a back three, hasn't he?
Yes.
But there's rumours that we will play with a back three. So
he did that at
why if we're getting rid of centre backs, how are we going to play with a back three? You think we couldn't, surely.
It also makes you wonder what the planning is behind the scenes, because one of the things is that we're all we've been looking at players who could possibly come to Wednesday. We don't know what Moore's list is. Moore's list might be done and dusted, and it could be a handful of loans and some lower league players.
Let's be honest, since this finance stuff's come out, we've not heard from Moore. We don't know.
We've heard once, I think.
Have we?
I think. Or was that?
I thought the interview was before. The
Oh
interview
no,
was
it was
just
before, wasn't it? Yeah, so we haven't heard
Like,
from more.
my concern would be how tied into the finances is this Moore situation, and could we be even without a manager? Hopefully not, because the thing is, the only positives that I'm still clinging on to with Wednesday at the minute is we seem to have is Darren Moore, and the fact that he's got players that want to play for him there.
Yeah.
I think BÖRNER will probably be on 20k plus or 18k plus, which for League One is a little bit too much.
We knew we'd lose players. Like, put it that way. I think it's certain players who may not have been on the list of who we thought might have gone.
Yeah. I saw somewhere. Was it you who sent me it? A wages list, or was it a listener that sent me it? Because I've not put it in the document, but I got sent. You tell me some of your favourite BÖRNER memories, and I'm going to just have a look, because I think somebody sent me a wage breakdown in the DMs. Let me just check.
One of my favourite memories was that clearance, and he celebrated like it was a penalty. He's just scored a goal. The thing about BÖRNER, he was always smiling, but he was always trying to keep people upbeat, even when it looked a bit bad. So when we conceded, he would be the one player you see clapping his hand, saying, "Come on, we can do this. Let's go." He was that kind of cheerleader that you needed, and he got 2 goals, didn't he? Both against Cardiff.
Yeah, that was a good day.
Yeah. So he does have goals in it. It's just a shame he's not going to be able to stay, because I thought him in League One would have been ideal. And I know people have said, yes, they've been caught out of position a couple of times this season, but I think this season it's very hard to judge some of the players, because it's just been a poor season. A poor season, everyone looks bad.
Take this with a pinch of salt, right? Because I don't know how much I buy this, but looking at the others, it could be around that. This is the same places that was reporting Jordan Rose was on like 35k.
Yeah.
BÖRNER isn't on as much as we think. If this is anything to go by, he's on 12k.
Right.
Which would make... I think it's more around the 15. It's got to be around a little bit more. But if you look at the hierarchy here, it would make sense if we were trying to reduce the wage budget when we were signing players. Because you've got Rhodes on there at 35, Kieran on there at 30, Barry Bannon on 27, Izzy Brown on 26, but I don't think we were paying it all. This is obviously with last season in mind. This is why there's players that aren't here. Adam Reach, 23. Tom Lee's 22. Juice Van Aken, 20, which would have been ridiculous. But we were paying a lot of players at the time.
That's true.
Aidan Flint, 18k. Jack Marriott, 18k. Callum Patterson, 17k, which I'm like, what? What? There is some things in here. I think what this might have done, but there's things like here, there's Irigidi, £710. I could believe that.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Wildsmith, £5,100. Deli Basharu, £5,300. Kieran Brennan, £830. Alex Hunt, £900. Che Dunkley, 8.4. So what this says to me, oh no, this could be legit, because we said this live, didn't we? I can cut this out if not, Punk. Remind me, I'll do a timestamp. But we have been told, and we can say that Callum Patterson has been told that he can go.
Yes.
Is he one of the ones?
Callum Patterson says that it's a mixture. Callum Patterson said he can
allegedly.
Go, allegedly, or Callum Patterson has asked to go.
Right. Okay.
If one of those one players, that would make sense.
Because if he was on, the only players in and around that are still here are BÖRNER, who is apparently on the same wage as Pelopessi, right? That would make sense why we got rid of Pelopessi. Luongo's apparently on 14k, but you probably want to keep Luongo. You couldn't keep them all on, but you'd understand why you'd want to get rid of Patterson there, because all the players on more wages, that would make Patterson our highest paid player.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Scary though.
Yeah.
How much we put on
apparently Liam Palmer's on 12, which is. But then again, did he get a new contract? He did get a new contract around that time.
Yeah.
Which also would make sense, because
You look at Shea Dunkley. If that's right, he's on 8. That show we're already starting to try and cut that way. But does it have Windass on?
That's the thing. I was looking for Windass. I can't find Windass on it. Oh no, yeah, Windass apparently 8.1.
See,
which would make sense why we were keeping Windass.
Exactly. So that there's a bit of truth for it. There might be a little bit of truth on that then. So
yeah, I don't want to take this as obviously gospel, but it does look like common sense this as well. You know, if you have a look at it. But yeah, Che Dunkley 8.4, Domi Orfer 8.4, Cam Dawson 9.4. If you think about when these players got new contracts, it makes sense because Liam Palmer got a new contract around the time where you're looking at if we got promoted to the Premier League, you need your homegrown players that have come through your academy.
Wait,
so
Patterson wouldn't be a high-paid player. It'd be Bannon. Bannon's on like 20 or 27.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, I forgot about Bannon. Yeah, Bannon would be on there, but he'd be our second highest player because the only ones on more than Patterson, according to this, were Marriott, Flint, Van Aken, Tom Lees, Reach, Brown, Westwood Rhodes, and obviously Bannon. So
and before you talk about Westwood, he got a new job as a gardener. I thought that was awesome.
I've seen the picture with him in his garden and everybody underneath him going, no, but I know a team that knows a goalkeeper. Needs a goalkeeper because he was like, does anyone need a gardener?
I just love that Windass said, yeah, you by the looks of it.
Yeah. I think, if so, I think we got Windass on good money.
And it sounds like he wants to stay. He's very pally-pally with Bannon. I think Windass in a League One team could do really well.
I do too, but I also thought BÖRNER could do, but I think I could do a job as well. But I think it must be a money thing. It's got to be a money thing. It's been reported these salaries are potentially correct. So whoever sent me that,
thank you.
I'm obviously not gonna. I don't know if they wanted me to say who it was.
We'll say thank you for that information.
But it's also, if you do some digging, you can find that as publicly available information. Yeah. So that's what I just did as well, just to check that I could read it out. So yeah, it's quite interesting. But I think BÖRNER he'll go for financial reasons, which is quite sad in a way. But any last thoughts on him before we move on?
Good luck to him. He's done really well for us while he's been here.
Apart from last season, but then again, nobody else did.
Yeah, it's just one of these things. When we got him in, we were in a pinch. No one really knew who he was. He was unknown. He came in, he did well. And he came into, let's be fair, a very unsettled team because he came in, Bruce leaves, and then Lee Bullen's in, and then Gary Monk's in. So he came into something that wasn't very settled to start with. So the fact that he managed to have a decent little spell while he's been with us is brilliant.
Exactly. So, well, thank you very much, BÖRNER. Yep. And we'll never get to pronounce your names and name the wrong way if you do leave.